The Mbali forest was ancient and vast. Sunlight dripped through its canopy, painting the forest floor in dappled light. Giant trees reached for the sky, their branches heavy with years. Vines as thick as a man's arm snaked around their trunks. The air hummed with the songs of unseen birds. Monkeys chattered and played high in the leaves. The Mbali forest was a place of mystery and beauty. It was here that Zuberi, the lion, made his home. He was a magnificent creature, with a thick mane of golden fur and eyes like amber stones. He moved with a quiet grace, his paws barely making a sound on the forest floor. Zuberi knew every inch of his domain, every hidden stream and sun-drenched clearing. He was king of the Mbali forest, feared and respected by all. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the forest floor. Zuberi lay beneath a baobab tree, his breath coming in short, painful gasps. The poison from the thorns spread through his body, sapping his strength. He tried to rise, but his legs wouldn't obey. Fear, a feeling alien to the king of the forest, crept into his heart. The forest, usually alive with the sounds of the day, grew quiet. The monkeys had retired to their nests and the birds had hushed their songs. Only the chirping of crickets broke the silence. Zuberi closed his eyes, his head resting on his paws. He was alone, his strength fading with the dying light. Then he heard the sound of footsteps approaching. Zuberi's eyes snapped open and he struggled to rise. He growled, a low rumble in his chest. A strange scent reached his nostrils, a scent that was not of the forest. It was the scent of a human. The footsteps came closer, and a figure emerged from the trees. It was a man, tall and thin, with skin like polished wood. He wore a simple robe, and his head was covered with a white cloth. His eyes, dark and gentle, met Zuberi's. He was Harun, a man of the forest who lived in harmony with nature. Harun had lived in the forest all his life. He knew its secrets, spoke to its creatures, and felt the pulse of the earth beneath his feet. He had heard Zuberi's roar many times before, a sound that spoke of both power and majesty. But this roar had been different, filled with pain and fear. Harun knew something was wrong. He approached cautiously, his hands held out in front of him, palms open. "Peace, great Zuberi," he said, his voice soft and calming. "What sorrow has befallen you?" He could see the thorn embedded in the lion's paw, the flesh around it inflamed and swollen. Harun knew he had to help. Zuberi watched Harun, his amber eyes filled with a mixture of suspicion and hope. He had always avoided humans, sensing their potential for both kindness and cruelty. But this man, Harun, seemed different. There was a gentleness about him, a quiet strength that calmed Zuberi's fear. Harun sat down slowly, keeping his distance but never breaking eye contact. He spoke to Zuberi in a low, soothing voice, telling him he meant no harm. He reached out a hand, his touch gentle, and examined the thorn. Zuberi winced but didn't pull away. He sensed no malice in this man, only a desire to help. With careful movements, Harun reached into his pouch and took out a small, sharp knife. He showed it to Zuberi, letting him sniff it, letting him understand. Then, with a swift, sure motion, he removed the thorn. Zuberi roared again, this time in relief as the pain that had pulsed through him for hours subsided. Harun cleaned the wound with water from his gourd and packed it with herbs. As he worked, he spoke to Zuberi in his calming voice, soothing the lion's fear and building a bridge of trust between them. Section 5, The Rhythm of Friendship. From that day forward, a bond formed between Zuberi the lion and Harun the man. Each day, Harun would visit Zuberi in his part of the forest, bringing him fresh water and sometimes a piece of honeycomb, a rare treat for a lion. Zuberi, in turn, would greet Harun with a low rumble of contentment, his massive head resting on his paws. Their friendship was a silent language of trust and respect. They would sit together for hours, Harun speaking of his day, of the changing seasons, of the stories whispered by the wind through the leaves. Zuberi would listen, his amber eyes never leaving Harun's face, his presence a comforting weight beside him. Their bond deepened with each passing season. Harun continued to visit Zuberi, sharing his stories and his silences. Zuberi in turn would follow Harun through the forest, his presence a silent, reassuring shadow. Theirs was a friendship born of compassion and need, a testament to the unexpected bonds that can form between even the most different of creatures. Section 6. The Passing of Time. Years passed, turning into a comforting rhythm for both man and lion. The seasons changed, painting the forest in a tapestry of colors. The Umbali forest whispered its ancient secrets, and life continued its timeless dance. Zuberi, still king of the forest, grew older, his once bright fur now streaked with silver. Harun too felt the passage of time. His hair turned white as the feathers of a dove, and his steps, once sure and swift, slowed. Yet their friendship remained, a constant in the ever-changing forest. Zuberi would wait patiently for Harun each day, his heart lifting when he heard the familiar footsteps approaching. Harun, despite his age, would still venture into the forest, leaning on his staff, his heart warmed by the sight of his old friend. Their encounters were quieter now, their silences filled with a lifetime of shared moments. They found comfort in each other's presence, a testament to the enduring power of their unusual friendship. The forest held its breath, witnessing the silent language of love and loyalty between a lion and a man. Section 7. Farewell, old friend. One day Harun didn't come to the forest. Zuberi waited, a deep rumble in his chest, but the familiar footsteps never came. The forest seemed to hold its breath, the silence heavier than usual. Zuberi felt a pang of unease, a feeling he couldn't explain. The next day, and the next, Harun was still absent. Zuberi, his heart heavy with a nameless dread, ventured closer to the edge of the forest, to the place where the trees thinned and the scent of humans lingered. He sniffed the air, searching for the familiar scent of his friend, and then he smelled it, not the scent of Harun alive, but a different scent, cold and final. It was the scent of loss. Zuberi followed the scent to a clearing, where he saw a mound of fresh earth decorated with flowers. He recognized the scent of Harun's robe, faint but unmistakable, clinging to the earth. Harun was gone. Section 8. Zuberi's Vigil. A deep, mournful sound rose from Zuberi's throat, a sound of grief that echoed through the silent forest. He approached the grave slowly, his head bowed, and lay down beside it, his massive body a testament to his sorrow. He stayed there all day, refusing to leave, his amber eyes filled with a sadness that no lion had ever felt before. Each day Zuberi visited Harun's grave, bringing gifts, a freshly killed gazelle, a honeycomb dripping with sweetness, a beautiful, rare feather he had found. He would lay them gently by the grave, his silent offerings a testament to the love and loyalty that death could not diminish. The other animals, sensing his grief, kept their distance, watching the king mourn in silent respect. The forest, once filled with the sounds of Zuberi's playful roars, was now hushed, as if in mourning. The trees seemed to bow their heads, and the wind sighed through the leaves, carrying with it the unspoken grief of a lion who had lost his dearest friend. Section 9. Together again. Time, the healer of all wounds, passed, but Zuberi never forgot his friend. He continued to visit the grave, the bond they shared etched forever in his heart. One day, feeling the weight of his years, Zuberi lay down beside the grave, his breath coming in slow, shallow gasps. He closed his eyes, the image of Harun's smiling face filling his mind, and then he saw him. Harun, as young and strong as the day they met, stood before him, his hand outstretched. "Come, old friend," Harun said, his voice as warm and comforting as Zuberi remembered. "The forest welcomes you home." Zuberi rose, his old body filled with a newfound strength. He took a step towards Harun, and then another, and together the lion and the man walked into the light. Their friendship, a beacon, shining brightly in the heart of the Umbali forest. a testament to the eternal bonds of love that transcend even death itself.